There's a Chinese proverb that says, "The man who removes a mountain begins by carrying away small stones." It could be that today that you're looking at this impassable object in front of you and you don't know how you're going to deal with it. You struggle to cope and you're questioning your sanity or your decisions that you've made in life that have led up to this point. But be mindful of the fact that every single one of us has our mountain. And in many cases, mountains, they come and they go at different times. You have your valleys, you have your peaks, you have your in-betweens, and the view changes from time to time. But whenever you come up to that mountain, it never feels good because mountains represent an impediment, an interruption. And not only that, but one that seems impossible to overcome because they're so much bigger than us. And if you're looking up the mountain today, whatever it might be, understand that the thing that you need to focus on is not the mountain itself, but each pebble, each little rock. And you might think to yourself, well, if I begin by removing one stone at a time, I'll never get beyond the mountain. Well, if you just begin to move, if you begin to act, the results will take care of themselves. Things shift over time. There are things bigger than the mountain itself, and we have to understand that. There's a very recent illustration of this in real life that's made me think of this. There's a YouTuber that I have kind of started watching lately, not a lot, but I clicked onto his video because the title to it was basically everything in his life was effed up. That's what he said is basically in his video or his title. And he was talking about how he's a full-time YouTuber, so he completely relies upon it, and he actually has an employee that helps him. Now this is a daunting responsibility for anybody who's ever considered doing something like that. Because YouTube is a fickle mistress. They can pull the strings on you anytime they want. It doesn't always feel good. Well, that's what happened to him. He was entering some banking information and he made an error. He didn't even know. It was such a minor thing, and YouTube demonetized him for it. They put him on probation for about a month. They still owe him $20,000. And now he doesn't know what he's going to do. He doesn't even know if they're going to pay him what they owe him. On top of that, he found out that a couple of his teeth that he had replaced years ago are now infected and they need to be replaced once again. And he has to do it because it's going to cause a health issue for him because it's infected. Okay? So he has that on top of that. He doesn't, he also found out that he's got to pay the IRS $20,000 like right away. And these things kind of happen. It's easy to sit back if you don't know the full story, if you don't know the individual, to point your finger and go, well, you made some bad decisions. Well, sometimes things happen even when you think you've made the right ones. You're still going to find yourself up against a mountain at different times, no matter what happens in life. You can't do enough right to avoid them. You just can't. It's going to happen. And when it does happen, and you may be facing, like I said, facing one right now, just focus on the one pebble at a time. Things will shift, things will change. The mountain can move, and it may not be due to your actions, but you need to know that you're doing something. But what we often do when we face these monstrosities is we begin to worry, to fret. We're riddled with anxiety. And you have to understand that none of that helps. And we know that. We even tell ourselves that. But it's what we do to cope. But it's not going to help your situation. The best thing that you can do when looking up at this, when being confronted with this, is Accept the situation for what it is. This is the reality that you're living in right now. Complaining about it isn't going to help. Fussing about it, airing your grievances to the whole world. I know that's all encapsulated into one thing. That's not going to help. Having all this anxiety is not going to help. I know you think to yourself, well, I can't help it. That's just how I feel. But understand, we do those things because we're trying to cope. We don't know what else to do. But when we focus on complaining about our situation, it's avoiding coming up with a strategy to deal with it. And another thing too, being in a hurry to remove this mountain isn't going to help. It may take a while. And you may be alone in your endeavor for a span of time. But it doesn't stay that way. Sometimes others come along and help you. And before you know it, all the chipping away seems to be yielding some kind of a result. And the mountain looks smaller and smaller and smaller. And when you get past all of that, and we do get over our mountains. Sometimes it's really not about removing the mountain. Sometimes it's just about getting it down lower to where we can see over the crest. And then maybe we can make it over. We can plod our way. It might be hard. We can plod our way over, or we can create a pass. But we've done something. Complaining about it's not going to help. Being in a hurry is not going to help. Just bending down and picking up one stone at a time. And everyone has a story. And you're going to have more than one. Trust me on this. I've had many mountains. We always talk about the valleys, don't we? We always talk about the low points. The high points also come with a responsibility. And that is, you're going to have to be looking up at something that is going to be very imposing. It's going to require a lot of responsibility. And you may begin to think, I don't know if I'm cut out for this, but it's your mountain. Accept it. Don't stew away. Don't complain. And don't be inactive. The results will take care of themselves. Think about it. All right, guys, I hope this helped. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you have any suggestions, feel free to give them. I hope you ruminate on these things today and consider all of them, all the points that were made, if it made sense. All right, guys. I will see you in the next one. I thank you for joining me. I hope you have a great day. In the meantime, be wise.